Legion, it's Adrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Frostpunk in our The Great Order series. This is going to be the final episode of The Great Order, and I've got to spend a couple of minutes, a couple of sobering minutes talking about why I know it's going to be the final episode. It has nothing to do with gameplay, nothing to do with bad things happening. Well, it does have to do with bad things happening, but not to the citizens of our virtual city, but to the code of the game that has been patched while this series has been ongoing, and I thought everything was going to be okay because we've still been using the same save that we started before the 1.1 survival patch, but it actually turns out everything is not okay, Legion, and I hate to say this, I hate to spoil it for everyone, and I hate to get to the very end of this campaign, this first Frostpunk series that was going so well, better than any Frostpunk campaign I've done, and have to say this. Like, I'm really annoyed right now as I say this and as I begin this recording for what is the third time. I've attempted this again twice. And for those of you who have played Frostpunk before, you know that when you complete God, this soundtrack is amazing. When you complete the game, there's a lovely little montage with some time-lapse photography, quote-unquote, that plays that lets you see your city being slowly built out as the days rapidly pass, and you get to see a little in addition to the photography montage and the video montage, seeing your city being built, you also get to see a little bit of a narrative forming on the screen. Some words come up talking about the decisions that you made, whether or not you crossed the line. And of course, the point of the Great Order is that we were going to play the Order sense of purpose rather than faith. We were going to use order rather than faith, and then we were not going to cross the line as opposed to crossing the line. And it's that final movie that really the entire campaign is kind of building to. Yes, you want to survive the storm and you want to have that sense of completion, but then it's the ending is what you really want to see. You want to see the game tell you this is what you accomplished, well done, and you get to breathe a sigh of relief that you achieved whatever you achieved. So I'm not going to necessarily talk about how well those first two attempts went, but I tried it once and the game froze right at the moment that was going to tell me whether or not we crossed the line. And then I tried it again. It went just as well, and the game froze again. Hence my frustration. So what I'm going to have to do here is we're going to play through this episode. It's not even going to be a full-length episode. You can already tell that from the length of it. But when we get to the end and people are celebrating and they're happy and they're saying, that we survived the storm no matter how badly it goes up to that point, which it could go differently. We'll see. But we're going to cut things there. We're not going to be able to enjoy the ending, because if I let the game crash, unfortunately what happens is, nobody can... If I let the game crash, then the video corrupts. The recording of the game corrupts, which is quite frustrating, I know. And I'm frustrated to have to say it. And I know it's nothing I have to apologize for, but I'm still sorry, because I mean, this is... I don't like... It is the most annoying feeling in the world when you're building a wonderful story with a game through a Let's Play, and then a gimmick like a bug introduced by a patch crashes you repeatedly in the same spot, and it's just... Let me tell you, from my perspective, it is a crappy feeling. So, that's what's going on. Sorry for the speech, but I just want to make sure you knew that now, because I figured it would be even worse if I played through like nothing was wrong and pretended like I didn't know what was about to happen, and then right at the end said, oh, just kidding, by the way, that ending you were really looking forward to seeing, you can't see it. Like, I figured it'd be less frustrating to do it this way. So, I'm going to set up a few new Steam coal thumpers out here and get some gathering posts built. We also have some Steam hubs that are being set up, and let's take a look. Hang on. I would like gathering posts, yes. So 1, 2. Okay, just the 2 for now, I guess. We've ordered a few new Steam hubs to be built, and we're going to need more steam before this is up. We're researching, coal mining rationalization, So that's quite useful. We'll be taking advantage of that shortly. What are you? You're a resource depot. I'm waiting for someone to go, does Hadrian know it's pronounced depot and not depot? Yes, of course I know. I'm just being a goofball. Because that's clearly the kind of content that I'm known for on YouTube. Alright, so... what else do I need? I need a second steam coal thumper. Frankly, I need like as many coal thumpers as I can frickin' manage. Actually, let's do that. Let's go all in. I haven't done this in the playthroughs I've attempted so far, but let's go even harder on these. So, gathering posts. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I don't know if we'll have room to really go all in on it, but you know what? I'm going to try. No, not a resource depot. A steam coal thumper. Yep, let's put one. Oh, we can't actually have another one. We can't change their profile either, unless we remove the hunter's hangar, which we can totally do. And then maybe have enough coal. So let's try this, because we have lots of spare workers. There's no reason not to really try to go all in on this. And then you're a resource depot for wood, which I really don't need. So I'm going to dismantle you too, because I can get the extra steel. And you know what? Speaking of that, I'm going to have these people come home. We're going to turn off this wall drill. I don't need you guys running the automaton. I'd rather have you come out here. Alright, so that's a new coal thumper. We're going to build another one over here in just a second. So let's go ahead and queue this one up. Alright, so we have 4. Alright, you, where are you? Coal mining rationalization has researched. Let's go ahead and go for overdrive couplings. This will make the... Well, hang on, is this the next thing we need to go for? Do we need to go for, like, maybe gathering post insulation or coal thumper injectors? Let's go for injectors, because being able to produce coal piles faster seems like a really good idea. But I do want to have that overdrive. We're behind on the overdrives research, so that needs to be done ASAP, I know. Alright, so let's go back up to speed 3. I don't know why you guys are taking your sweet frickin' time on this. Okay, you can be dismantled. I don't need you there anymore. You are running... Yeah, you're protecting all those buildings, and that's working quite well. And are you being dismantled? Hopefully, maybe, perhaps? You guys taking their sweet time a little bit more than usual. Alright, so I need workers for you. We're going to turn the heater on. Heater on, workers. Heater on, workers. At least this one got fully set up over here. Of course, having the heaters will mean that we have some additional coal consumption. But it's okay. I think we're going to be able to manage. Hang on. Now, with you running there... Alright, that must have just come live. Alright, so that's definitely running. Let's turn this one... Well, I mean, it's already off. But we're going to get it deactivated. Dismantled, rather. Alright, you are going to need workers and a heater. Have I turned the heaters on there? Yes, I have. And here. Workers and a heater. Now we need to build one more. Steam coal thumper. I haven't done this, again, in the previous attempts I've made at this. I haven't done this many coal thumpers. So we're going to see if this helps the situation at all. Like I said, it went very well the first couple of attempts. I'm just trying to really ensure that it continues to go well. So, gathering posts? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beauty! Alright. Now, we have 5 hours left right now, so let's put you into overdrive and drop you down to steam level 3. It's going to get really cold in the morning, but at least the generator will stay online while this is happening. Okay, it's dropping down to where it's not going to shut down quite as fast. Now, for some reason, it's still getting really close to shutdown. What's happening? Now I'm annoyed. All right, go down to steam level 2. All right, so now it's getting really cold. And there's a lot of sick people. So we're going to pause for a second. Okay, we actually don't quite have enough people. We do have one automaton. Really? I thought I put an automaton to work one of these gathering posts earlier. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, so there. Now the automaton's working, and we do have the workers. Okay. Now, we just need the coal miners, or the guys working that to kick in. Alright, darkness before dawn. Sir, one of our engineers has come crashing through the door, white-faced, demanding to see you. I've run the calculations with the new data. The storm will pass in a couple of days, but the temperature just before the end will drop drastically. Nothing can protect us from such cold. Panic is starting to spread, and people are losing all hope. We have to stay strong. Okay. So it is officially 8 again. I'm going to crank things back up all the way to steam level 4 and get people nice and warm. And we are hopefully going to be producing tons and tons and tons. Now what's going on over here, and why isn't the steam hub... Alright, yeah, these heaters aren't on yet. I thought I had these heaters on. I guess I just built them and didn't turn them all on. Alright, so that should be better. Alright. Starting to see a genuine influx of coal. What do we have here? People refuse to work. Sir, a group of people employed at this gathering post refuses to go to their work today. They say that they want to spend their final hours with their families. What shall we do? Let's let them just stay home. This facility will stop working for the day. I think we can do without one gathering post. We just built a bunch more. Now, why? Yeah, what in the world is happening here? Like, I thought I had heaters turned on at all of my new ones. I guess I didn't click the buttons on everything new that I built. All right, so that's going to help people. All right, we have had a new amputee. Coal thumper injectors researched. That's definitely helped us with our situation. Now, also, let's go ahead and do gathering post insulation too, for obvious reasons. Those people need to be warm. Now, we have tons of coal coming in. And it's going to be... We're 50% of the way to gathering post insulation 2. We're in free time now. I'm going to need to leave overdrive on as long as I can, but we don't have very long. We're actually doing okay with sick people. The sick people are about to completely diminish. Nice. Okay. We're into our final full day. Oh, wait, no, just kidding. Sick people coming back. Generator stress level critical. Pause. All right, so unfortunately, we've got to turn off overdrive, which means people are going to get cold. But at least the generator is staying online. That is a huge win. And that actually hasn't happened in my first couple of attempts at this. What's this? I heard another... Fear of the storm. Panic spreads. Sir, even more people have abandoned their workplaces. They're completely petrified. Many of them don't believe we'll make it. This time the entire staff of this team, Coal Thumper, has refused to go to work. Of course one of the Coal Thumpers had decided to chicken out. Okay, let them stay home. This facility will stop working for the day. The citizens are making slightly worse decisions than they did in my first couple of attempts. That's what I'm not going to be able to control. We are out of food, by the way, if you haven't noticed that. But the sick people that we have, and the hungry people that have, they're not gravely ill and they're not starving. So, I mean, I know this sounds like a terrible thing to say, but it could be worse. Okay, gathering post insulation 2 researched. You can start new research. What would be worthwhile? Charcoal kiln would give me more coal. I mean, yeah, I could do this to produce more coal, just to make sure that I haven't... Yeah, let's do this. Why not? If we can get this researched in one day, what do we have here? Oh my god, it happened again! Yes, this did happen in my previous playthrough, and I was really upset at the possibility that this might not happen again. This is amazing. Sir, it's a miracle. The man who went looking for his daughter is back. He brought her with him. He says that he found her soon after leaving the city, but then they got lost and had to wait for a lull in the blizzard to find their way back. They are both exhausted and frostbitten, but very happy. I'm glad to hear that. Yay! I was really worried that wasn't going to happen. Okay, we have got some seriously sick people. And we might not get to charcoal kilns before the end of the workday, and then it won't matter, because everything's about to end. Panic spreads. Sir, even more people have abandoned their workplaces. They're completely petrified. Many of them don't believe we'll make it. This time the entire staff of this gathering... Okay, yada, yada, yada. Let's let them stay home. We are going to be... We're not going to say that we let this final moment break us. Okay. We actually... We have a ton of coal. We really do. So, I am... We are going to have a final kind of freeze where things get really bad. And when that happens, I'm going to switch overdrive back on to keep us alive. We're not going to do it just yet. Hang on. I just realized this public house needs a few more people working. Prison needs a few more people. Gotta make sure the prison's well staffed during a apocalyptic event. Priorities. Guard station. Yep, let's do that too. These gathering posts are not fully staffed. I wonder how long that's been the case. You're not even fully staffed over here. Okay. Alright, so... in just a minute... Alright, overdrive back on. Let's keep people warm. I'm not going to select a research option. It's not necessary. Notice discontent just dropped a good ways. What do we have here? Work ceases. Sir, most of our people have abandoned their workplaces to stay home with their families. Only the medical facilities are still functioning. The city holds its breath, waiting for whatever the end will bring. We have to stay strong. Okay, as you can see, we have a final frost hitting us right now. And if we hadn't had overdrive on, that probably would have killed a bunch of people just with a snap freeze right there. Notice how cold it is. Like, that final freeze can be deadly for anyone. Yeah, we have 22 gravely ill right now. I haven't even had that in previous playthroughs. But the dawn's about to hit. And with it, there it is. The storm ends. The wind dies down, and the temperature finally starts to rise. An eerie silence descends on the city. We're going to sit through a few things here. Notice the hope bar skyrocketing. There it is. We made it. So, a few things here. We made it. We did it. We survived the final blow. We will live. We survived. We made it. Okay, I can't. We have survived. Now, I'm going to see if I can skip through this. Okay. I'm going to have to stop. I'm going to edit in an epilogue moment because I have to cut this before we get to the end here. But I'll let you see the beginning of it before I know it's going to freeze, and I'll cut the recording. Okay, this is the moment, and we'll transition back to the menu in just a second. So, that was that. I mean, in many ways, the ending we were hoping for, but not so much the ending we were hoping for, in that a glitch robbed us of the final moment of triumph of seeing that movie. But we did make it through the storm. Not a single person died. I was really looking forward to seeing if the ending movie acknowledged that in some way, but I'm still proud of that. I have not done a Frostpunk playthrough where nobody died, and I don't know if there's an achievement that I've just been denied because of that glitch. I don't really care about that, but I'll have to check and see. But that's a first for me, so I'm glad that I got it on YouTube. Just regret that we weren't able to see the ending movie in full, but future playthroughs that I do, hopefully we'll be able to get done in one patch to where that doesn't happen again. And by the way, I mentioned, I think in the beginning of the recording, maybe I did, that it might be my recording software. I can tell you right now, after I stopped the recording, it still crashed at the exact same point, just a few seconds after I stopped that and jumped into this edit. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the first series nonetheless. Even though we kind of ended on a bit of a hiccup, we still got to see the city through to the end. Had some definite moments where you can see how choices can really play out differently depending on random scenarios happening. I'm so glad the dad brought his daughter back. That didn't happen in the first attempt. It happened in the second, and in this third and working one, it happened again, so I was very happy about that. And there's actually, I'll tell you now, because I didn't want to say this in the very beginning, there was a third attempt. So a previous attempt at kind of giving that explanation at the beginning and saying, okay, I've tried this twice, we're going to do this. And actually that final snap freeze that I mentioned did kill 10 people. And at that point, I was like, okay, this is stupid, because at this point, I had played through it twice and nobody had died. And then because I was being forced to replay it, you know, we lost 10 people. I wasn't going to let, you know, something like that, you know, wreck that moment for the series that we'd built towards. So I decided to give it another go and, you know, make sure that that didn't happen, because that was a fluke. That actually, the way that the people died, it pulled up a dialogue that I've never seen. It was just instant death due to the snap freeze, and 10 people died all at once. But, ooh, violins just got ominous, like straight up Joker for a second. But anyway, so if you guys have any questions about the game in general, I know a lot of people maybe are not as familiar with Frostpunk, or if you just want to know a little bit more about it or how I got interested in it, feel free to ask. For those of you who are curious whether or not I will be playing more Frostpunk on the channel, the answer is yes. I mean, look at this. It's a really compelling, fun, gripping game with great music, but the series themselves don't last if you play scenario play anyway, which they're going to introduce a sandbox mode later on. It's not in the game yet, but the scenario play, it doesn't last like longer than, what 12 episodes? At least for A New Home. And we're going to play A New Home from some different perspectives. We're going to play from the faith perspective. We're going to play from the crossing the line perspective and the not crossing the line perspective, from both different points of view. So this one, I was obviously trying to be very good to people, but we can play Order and not be good to people, as you saw from some of the choices that I made. So you can look forward to that. I just actually read a comment right before I jumped in to do this portion of the video on a Stellaris video, I think on episode 50 of High Dominion, where one of my regular commenters said, man, Hadrian is an asshole in this playthrough. I love it. So, put me in a position to roleplay being an absolute dick in some of these games, and you might be surprised what I can do. But in this one, we were really, I think, trying to be as genuine and as moral and as idealistic. I actually had a brief conversation with a commenter who was saying I should have turned on child labor in this playthrough, and my immediate response was, well, we were trying to walk the moral high road. And he came back with, well, the moral high road would have been, losing the moral high ground would have been making kids work all jobs. He was maybe trying to make the case that safe child labor wouldn't have been immoral. And that's an interesting point. And I'm not saying I agree necessarily, but I think he was making a good counterpoint. That's what makes Frostpunk great, is that you have to think about these things that make you uncomfortable. And you're like, man, child labor, like, when is that okay? When is it ever okay? Like, when do we make that decision and when do we not? So yes, we were going, I think my response to that commenter was that, yeah, I mean, you might have a point. So not only were we going for the moral high ground, but we were also being very idealistic, right? And that was a big part of this playthrough. We were saying to ourselves, not only do we want to do the right thing by everyone, but we want to really give people the best lives that we can, even though we are facing this tremendous difficulty. We don't want to let go of the things that make us a civilized, orderly society, right? So that's kind of the direction that I was going with this series. Sorry. Had a hiccup in the middle of that last sentence. But anyway, that's the direction that I was going with this series, and it's been a lot of fun despite the last minute crash. I'm going to stop this one here so that we can move back into some dynastic divinity in Stellaris, but stay tuned to this time slot because you're definitely going to see more Frostpunk here, or possibly in the 1 p.m. slot at some point in the future if I can, ever squeeze it in there. These series are, as long as I have time to, record 12 episodes in the background of the main content that I have going on the channel, I can throw a Frostpunk series on the channel. That's not a lot of extra effort for me, so you can definitely look forward to seeing more of this one on the channel in the future. It's one that I've been looking forward to playing for a long time, and I regret that I wasn't able to bring it to the channel sooner. So hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to follow along. New episodes in any kind of survival, science fiction, and or simulation vibe tend to come out at 4 p.m. Eastern time, just like this one. Sometimes 1 p.m., sometimes 7. I've got some different time slots, but 4 p.m. is the dedicated, constant sci-fi survival simulation slot. So stay tuned to that for future Frostpunk and other content. Comments are always welcome. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next series.